Bring it back. 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 Bring it back.
This is very hard to explain because this is a complex technology, but
And once again my stream deck is fighting me, but from the And the Groove Remains production team studios in the Netherlands. My name is Mixmaster G and welcome to this live stream. My mission is not to sell you as many apps as I can. No, my mission is to educate, teach and help you with audio track collection management and conversion for DJs, so you save yourself some time for the fun and creative part of being a DJ. As each week, let me very quickly introduce myself so you know who I am. I'm a 58-year-old dude from the Netherlands. I had my first DJ residency at the age of 15, which means this is over 40 years of DJ experience in the flesh. I am no longer an active DJ, I call myself a retired DJ. However, you may know me from a little app that I wrote, and that app is called, if the Stream Deck is working with me, hold on, we have to be patient for this, and I have no idea why it's not working at all. It's very weird. But there it goes. It looks like it's still fighting me, folks. Hold on. Because I need my Stream Deck in order to change my views, right? Right. And right now it is dead in the water. Nothing is happening. It's not even showing up anymore. And it was working beautifully just a moment ago. You always see that, right? There it is. Is it now? Yes, there it is. And this was the app I was talking about. The DJ conversion utility, allowing you to convert between various DJ software, maintain your cues, loops and all that other good stuff. So in the event that you want to try out some other DJ stuff, you don't have to redo everything all over again. It is not the only app I wrote for DJs. I wrote a ton of other apps, all aimed at making your life as a DJ a little bit easier if it comes to audio track collection management and conversion. Each Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Central European Time, that is right now, I host this Ask Me Anything live stream where I try to answer user questions, talk about new releases, DJ stuff and all other things that interest us as DJ geeks. And I will not only try to demonstrate how certain things can be done, but I either give you a link to one of the videos about the topic, or I will demonstrate it on the screen and show you how things can be done. Let me say hi to everybody that is already joining us in the chat. Doe the DJ, happy Tuesday, Mixmaster G and friends, happy Tuesday, Doe, great to have you with us. And Javaman Sanchez, hi Mixmaster G, how are you today? I'm doing good, Javaman, I hope the same for you. Folks, this is going to be a rather short live stream. I don't have that many topics that we need to speak about. Actually, there is one thing that we need to talk about, and that is Traktor related. And for that reason, I call this the Showing Traktor Love Part 1 live stream, because I know for sure that next week we are going to talk about Traktor again. More about that later on. Isn't that a teaser? And apart from that, I don't have that many topics to speak about. So if you got a question for me right now, then throw that question in the chat and I'm happy to talk about it if it's DJ related, of course. Otherwise, this will be a very short stream. As each week I don't monetize my videos anymore. I have the commercials off on any video, and if I see a video with a commercial on, I switch it off because I hate those commercials too. And just for a few lousy bucks from Google, it's not worth the bother at all. So for that reason, I switch it off. But that also makes these videos kind of harder to discover. So if you like what I'm doing, then don't forget to give the video the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe and all that other good stuff. But most importantly, tell your DJ friends about the availability of this information totally free online and the live stream each Tuesday 7 o'clock p.m. Central European Time, so they can take advantage of that as well. Marcel the DJ, Mark the DJ also in the building. Hello Mixmaster G. And RLDCM 3000, hi Mixmaster G. Rocky from Los Angeles, hi Rocky, good to have you with us, buddy. Hi from the Netherlands, and you are up early because Los Angeles, that's like a 9-hour time difference, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning there, something like that. Okay, my friends, the few things that I need to speak about. First of all, next week is Amsterdam Dance Event. And as some of you might know, I am an official partner of the Amsterdam Dance Event. For that reason, you can find me at the 𝐴DE Gear Lab, and very happy to see you there, shake hands. And if you come over to the 𝐴DE Gear Lab, I also have these nice cup coasters, and if you ask for one, I'm happy to give you one, because we still have plenty of those left from other shows. So that will be the Amsterdam Dance Event. And one thing happened this week on the release front, which was rather an unexpected one, and let me get that on the screen so we can talk about it. And that news is coming from our good friends from Native Instruments, Traktor. who released the Traktor MX2, and the MX2 is an entry-level or positioned as an entry-level controller. Now, my friend Mojax did a very long and detailed review of this product already, so I am not going to review it. By the way, I don't have a unit right here. My problem with this controller is this. It still costs you like 400 euros, and for that money this is a Traktor controller only. And now I hope that others, and especially looking at Algorithm DJ, will adapt this controller and write drivers for it so their software will work with it too. But out of the box, right now, 400 euros gets you this controller, this entry-level controller that will work with Traktor. But let's face it, if I have to advise DJs these days to pick their DJ software, I am not going to advise them Traktor. And I am a Traktor user myself. Why am I still on Traktor, you may ask? Well, that's very simple. I'm still on Traktor because I moved to Traktor when it first was released. That was my entry to the digital DJ thing. So I know it from the start. It still serves my needs. There is nothing that I miss in Traktor right now. But if you are an aspiring DJ, then there is a lot of stuff missing in Traktor right now. There is no Spotify integration, there's no music integration, there are no real-time stems on it. The whole library management is still a mess. So for an entry-level artist, Traktor it might not be the best choice for software, and it's certainly something I won't recommend. And then investing in a controller that only works with Traktor doesn't make much sense to me. For a little bit less money you can buy the Pioneer DJ Flex 4, which works perfectly fine. And Native Instruments, I rather would have seen them investing development time in updating Traktor to newer features like real-time stems and supporting more entry-level controllers like the Flex 4. Why not use the competitor's controller? We are just talking about a controller, and that would save them the time to do the most necessary updates to Traktor. Now I know there is a new version of Traktor due next week, the 21st of October. I already know a few features that may or may not be in that version. The way they are implemented will dictate if they are useful or not. That's always the case with these kind of things. For the rest, I will not spoil the surprise here. But I don't think that the features that I know that are going to be in the 21st release are that interesting to new entries into the DJ market. And that is what we're talking about. So for that reason, I still suggest Native Instruments. Guys, I love you. I love Traktor as my base DJ software. It still has the best static analysis on the block, but let's face it, Algorithms DJ grid analysis eats it alive. Same with stem separation. Of course, there is no real-time stem separation. You have to stem separate in advance, and those sound pretty good. Those are really good sounding stems, but the fact that you just can't just throw a switch and you've got the stems is not 2025 anymore. Sorry for that. So we have to wait and see next week what the new features will be. The MX2, the new controller, is out, and of course my Stream Deck is once again not reacting, but there it is. It is out. A little bit underwhelming, to be honest. So that's that. Let's take the spammer to the block list. And then 𝗪𝗪𝗪, my friend, is also joining me. 𝗪𝗪𝗪, we've got, by the way, 𝗪𝗪𝗪, by the way, for those who don't know, is my friend from the LA area that always helps me out with the NAMM booth. During the NAMM show, he helps me man the booth. We got the NAMM booth designation. I will talk about that some other time. My Stream Deck is really not working. I don't know why it's not working. It seems to be something with the USB connection. I'm now going to do something that you're not supposed to do at all in the middle of a live stream, but disconnecting the USB altogether and then turning it on again. Maybe it will do something, maybe it won't, I don't know. We'll see about that. And will it switch? Now it switches again. I really don't know what is what the problem is. I thought I solved it, but obviously not. And then 𝐿oRMA G is also in the building. Good to have you with us, 𝐿oRMA. So that's about the MX2, and like I said, I applaud that there are still new developments, but I'm not sure that this is the thing that we needed for Traktor right now. Other Traktor related news is coming from Alan and Heath, the makers of the Xone mixer. I haven't heard anything about this online, so sorry if I'm speaking too early, but this is coming from the official Alan and Heath website. They introduced the Xone 24, which is a 2-channel mixer, analog mixer, aimed at especially DVS DJs, as you can see. It looks like a very welcome entry for those of you unavailable or unknown to the Xone mixers. Those are the best sounding mixers on the block. Maybe not anymore, since the V10, which is right in front of me from 𝗵𝗲𝗏, also has pretty good sounds. But for instance, next to me is then an 𝗬𝐺 6000M rig, and that is sporting a Xone DB4. That happens to be the only mixer that Alan and Heath ever made that is fully digital. And that's the reason why I bought it, because I like my audio chain to be digital for as long as possible. This Xone 24 is not a digital mixer, it's an analog mixer. And there are two versions of it. There is the Xone 24 and there is the Xone 24C. And the C stands for connectivity. It has a USB interface, so you can use that particular mixer with the likes of Serato, Traktor, etc., etc. Pricing, I found on some German site, because there was not much information other available, but pricing for the Xone mixer is like 400 euros for the normal version and 480 euros for the C version. And I would always recommend take the C version, because you may need those USB connectors sooner rather than later. But it's nice to see these kind of mixers coming out. I'm not sure if there's a lot of demand for it, but maybe there is some. And though the DJ indeed plugging and replugging usually does the trick, but this thing is really fighting me. I was pressing it already for a long time, and only now it came through with the new camera view. So yeah, that's not really something that I want to find. Then there was this question from Danny Klitzen 3907. And let me quickly read it to you, because it's rather a story. I've recently switched over to using Apple Music for my entire library. My question is whether you know if the imported streamed files, metadata, are saved somewhere onto the hard drive as well. I'm asking this because I noticed that when I remove tracks from Rekordbox from already imported playlists from Apple Music, it does not remove them from the entire collection in Rekordbox. However, that means that when I add that track to a playlist again, all the previous data is still there, because it is still in my collection. Where is that data, and what happens when you remove a track from the collection itself? Does it remove the data wherever it is as well, or does it keep it partly somewhere? There is quite some stuff that we need to unpack from this question, and of course can I do this manually? I can do this manually, all right. Forget about the Stream Deck. We are going to do this manually, because if I cannot switch, well, then I cannot switch. I'm going to try one more thing, folks. That means I'm going to dive under the desk here, just making sure that I disconnect everything here. And then let's see, this is that, and that's that cable. And I did disconnect it right here. And then let's see which USBs I've got available, because there should be quite a few right here. I hate to do this during a live stream, but hey, sometimes things are the way they are, right? And let's connect this again. Turn it on. See if it picks up. That is nicely picking up, but I don't see it. Oh, it was picking up. Let me do it again. There it is, and there I see some stuff, but no idea. I don't trust it entirely, but hey, let's see. 𝐀𝐬𝐬. Ah, good question. Hold on, let me switch back. That's a good question. Difference analog versus digital mixer. The whole audio chain inside an analog mixer stays analog, which means, of course, if you have the C version, there are so-called analog digital analog converters in order to go to USB. But once that USB signal has entered the mixer, that analog signal is what is being processed under the fader, in the equalizers, under the gain. So that is all staying analog. And a lot of people like the sound of analog mixers. It is supposed to have a little bit of a warmer sound. Versus a digital mixer. A digital mixer is basically a computer where all the control knobs control that computer, and then that computer processes the audio data, and that audio data in the end becomes analog to digital. The reason why I like if I say I like my signal to stay digital, out of a CDJ, doesn't matter which type, or for instance my Denon @6000 you have analog signals and you have a digital signal. A digital signal is typically a coax cable, a single cable that carries both stereo channels. It's much easier to connect because it is digital, which means it is not prone to noise gumming that you usually have with analog cables. So if you stay digital, you have a high quality. And because you wait for as long as possible to make that digital signal an analog signal, you have the highest quality throughout the entire chain. But for that to work, your mixer, of course, needs to be digital. Otherwise, you have no benefits by going all digital in your audio chain. So if I say I like my audio chain to stay digital for as long as possible, then I really mean that. That means my Denon @6000 are connected by digital coax to the DB4 mixer, which is a digital mixer. Then the master output from that DB4 mixer is also digital. It's a coax cable again going into the V10, and the V10 being my audio hub is the thing that finally makes the digital signal analog. For that reason, staying digital as long as possible gives you the best audio quality. Same, by the way, for my 3000 X's. Those are digitally connected to the V10, so that signal is also digital for as long as possible. Checked jackets. Hello there. Hello, checked jackets. Maybe not the right process to ask you this, but I recently did an export from my DJ Pro 5 playlist to Rekordbox 6.8.6, and some tracks couldn't get the cues that were in DJ Pro. Is it a known issue? Yeah, there are quite some known issues with that. And that means that if the cues don't show up in Rekordbox, that usually means that the DJ conversion utility could not read them. I always recommend you to have a look at the log file. Each time you run the DJ conversion utility, there is a log file produced, and in that log file you will find exactly what happened. And that log file also will tell you if there were, for instance, cues set on those DJ tracks. The problem here is that DJ can have cues set in from several sources, but the DJ conversion utility only converts cues that were actually set in DJ. So if, for instance, in the past you imported Serato tracks with Serato cues into DJ and then you try to convert them, DJCU will not convert those cues. Reason for that is because those cues might have encoder shifts. Long story, a lot of information about that in my YouTube channel, and I don't want those encoder shifts to be converted all over again if they were not compensated in the first place. So have a look at that, but most importantly, just collect some of those tracks that don't have cues and loops into a playlist, give them a cue and loop, only convert that single playlist and see what happens in Rekordbox. By the way, I recommend to go to Rekordbox 7.2.4, but that most likely will not fix this issue. Checked DJs, I did check the log file and it showed that it couldn't locate the track where it was though. Yeah, then there is no information converted. The big problem with algorithm DJ is that by default it doesn't store the file path to the audio files in its database. It relies on artist, title and track length to identify a track. Now the benefit of that is that it doesn't matter if a track is a streaming track or a real audio file track, because the track length, artist and title will be the same. The problem with it is there is no other DJ software that uses this method. Every other DJ software relies on the absolute file path to the audio file in order to function with that track. Which means if you convert a file, and the DJ conversion utility has a lot of tricks up its sleeve to find the audio file for that track, including, and that is something that you might want to try, if you add the audio files to iTunes, nowadays called Apple Music, and make sure that those iTunes audio files are also in Algorithm DJ, then it might find them through the iTunes integration. This all works in the background, you don't experience that as a user, but if the DJ conversion utility converts from DJ, it first looks if there is a file path in the DJ data. If not, it is going to find if there is an iTunes identifier in the DJ data and then ask iTunes for the file path to that file. And if that is all not found, then it will ask iTunes, hey, do you have a track with this artist, this title and this track length? And then it will take the file path from iTunes. So those are other things that you can try if the DJ conversion utility reports that a track could not be found. Remember, the DJ conversion utility only converts tracks on audio files. If those tracks are from a streaming service, even if that streaming service is both supported by DJ and by Rekordbox, it will not convert those tracks. I hope that made it a little bit more clear for you, check jackets. And I know it's always a lot to take in, but hey, conversion from algorithm DJ is not the simplest available. Sadly, I wish it was different. And of course, my Stream Deck once again is not working. Ah, there it goes. So that was Check Jacket's question. And then back to Danny Kitsen's question about Apple Music tracks and Rekordbox. So let me start up my Rekordbox and let me switch to this one. And of course you can only use Apple Music, the streaming service, within Rekordbox if you are in performance mode. So before I do anything, I need to switch to performance mode. There we are. And then in my library I made a test playlist because I use this only for testing. And in that playlist is the Disclosure Anderson Paak track, no cap. Now remember, only if I load a track in the deck, that track is added to my Rekordbox collection. Let me do this again because this can be interesting. Let me just create an empty Rekordbox collection for fun and giggles. And I think that let me double check that first. Remember that I warned you about if you change stuff, you need to disable iCloud. This is such a moment that before I empty my Rekordbox collection, I want to make sure that from last week's iCloud, you see it's on. Let's switch that off. So now it's switched off, and now I can safely play around with my. This should create an empty one. Let's go. And there we go too. And then let's empty this all. So there is nothing there. So we are now watching the collection of Rekordbox, and as you can see, nothing in it. Then let's go to music and let's go to my test playlist, and there is that Disclosure and 𝐸𝐴𝐻 track. And if I load it in the deck, it will automatically be added to the Rekordbox collection. So if I now go to collection and I say all tracks, there you see the Disclosure and 𝐸𝐴𝐻 track. Same if you go to the entire collection, there is one track there, the 𝐸𝐴𝐻 track. Now let's give that track a cue, which we should right here. I never work in performance mode, as you see, so for that reason it can be a little bit confusing for me because I never use it. I am always in export mode. But hey, it is what it is. So now we gave the 𝐸𝐴𝐻 track some metadata. This is called metadata. And first, I haven't tried this yet, so let's try this in parts. Let's add the 𝐸𝐴𝐻 track to a playlist called test, like this. Then let's unload it from the deck. And how do I easily unload it? I unload it easiest by going to songs and then, I don't know, something of Madonna. Nothing there. Nothing there. That should always work. There we are. The Taylor Swift track. Why not? Something to tell about the Taylor Swift track. I found it very similar to Foster the People's Pump Up Kids. Check it out. That whole bass line is exactly the same. I already overlaid them. You can easily mesh them up. We are not going to play that because that is like how to know for sure that you are going to be blocked on Facebook. Now, as you can see, the information is still there, and what the user was saying is if I say remove from collection, like this, and now it is moved from collection, and let's see if it is indeed moved from collection. Let's go back to my collection view. Yes, it is. Oh no, yes, it is not there. It is not there. So it is removed from the collection, and the cue and loop metadata are all stored in the Rekordbox database in the collection, so that should be removed. Now if I go back and I load it again, this user is telling me that the cues and loops are coming back. Let's see. No, they are not. I even have to analyze it. So, sorry, Danny Kitson, I cannot replicate this. It works as it should. The moment you remove it from the collection in Rekordbox, it is truly removed in the collection, and all metadata, cues and loops wise, is added. Now there is a difference between cues, loops, etc. and metadata like genre, artist and other common data, because that is actually stored on the Apple Music side. And I'm not sure if you can edit them. Let's see, why not? Let's see if we can edit them. Disclosure and 𝐸𝐴𝐻. I want to go to the info part. And let's say we just want to make this ender. I cannot. Why is this? It doesn't even allow me to edit this. So I cannot edit this. I cannot edit. No, it doesn't allow me to edit it at all. So that's not editable. So as far as this is all concerned, there is really nothing wrong with it. It works as advertised. By the way, I am on the latest version on Rekordbox. Let's see, what else do we have? 𝐀𝐬𝐤, is there a RMX 2000 coming? Camera is frozen. Yeah, I see that. I see that. That's weird. See if I can unfreeze the camera, because hold on, folks. This one I want to be active. There we are again. And this is running, as I can see. Sorry folks, not sure what's happening today. It seems like the gods of the internet are not with me today. But long story short, it would be fun if I can switch the cams, right? There we are. Long story short, those tracks work as they are supposed to work, so nothing to report there. By the way, thank you, Cher, for telling this. That really helps. 𝐀𝐬𝐤, is there an RMX 2000 coming this year? I wouldn't know, and if I would know, then I couldn't tell, because with 𝗹𝗶𝗿𝗏 I'm under NDA, so that's not something I could speak about even if I would know. But I am not that big on that kind of gear because I never used it myself, so I wouldn't know if that will be the case. So that's that. Let's see what else we have. RLDCM 3000. I noticed that the Denon conversion utility does not copy over history playlist information back to Rekordbox if it is a streaming track. It works from Engine app. Yeah, but it doesn't work from the Denon conversion utility, because that is only working with audio files and not with streaming tracks. I made another app called the DJ conversion utility streaming, that works with streaming tracks on some platforms, not on SoundCloud for instance, but it works on Apple Music, limited if you come from Denon. It works fine on Beatport, BeatSource and Tidal. So if you want to check that out, check that one out. Maybe there are some hooks there for you. Then we have Rocky 3000. I sent you a DM on Instagram about possible custom work. What's the best way to get about having a meeting to discuss? I have not seen a DM about custom work. I get DMs all the times for DJs to fix their libraries. Totally open about that. Yes, I do that. Yes, I do that over TeamViewer. It costs you 125 euros per hour. So depending on what your idea is, do the math. And maybe it is. I'm always open to suggestions to make my products better, to make my apps better. So yes, you can always suggest it, but if it is really custom tailor work for your in particular for whatever reason, or if you need help recovering a DJ collection, or if you need help recovering a Rekordbox collection, or if you need help recovering from a cloud disaster, then I charge €125 an hour, and it's done over TeamViewer, which means I can control your computer and you can see what I'm doing. We can speak to each other over TeamViewer. Works perfectly well. So that is that. Then let's see, what else do we have? Sineldo. Do you ever connect Rekordbox directly to the CDJs, or do you always export to a USB? I normally export, but I wonder if creating new cue points and hot cues go faster if Rekordbox is directly connected to the CDJs. Sineldo, if you have them connected directly, that will be always faster, but I never use that. CDJs are made for standalone usage, and of course you can use them with Rekordbox in two ways. You can use them over ProLink, which means that essentially your CDJs are using Rekordbox as one big USB, or you can use them in performance mode and then your CDJs are just dumb MIDI controllers, which I don't like. So if you use them standalone, use them ProLink. And yes, if you then set cues and loops, of course that will be the fastest, because that will directly be set inside the database instead of having to export, set cues and loops, and then importing the cues and loops data back to Rekordbox, which is pretty fast, but still not the fastest. So yes, if possible, and it is a solution for you, use them over DJ ProLink. Otherwise, use them standalone with the USB. That is what I always do. 𝐀𝐬𝐬 in the building. Kees, I have some sad news for you, my friend. I could not recover your USB. I spent some time on it. I won't charge you, by the way, but that won't fly. Okay, Rocky 3000. Okay, I'm definitely interested. This might be a bigger project for my company. Depends on what it is, Rocky. Usually I do with artists just the small things. Recover, like Kees had, for instance, a CDJ USB, which happens to be the thing that he uses as a Rekordbox collection, which is his mistake. That went south, and I could partly recover playlists and stuff from it, but a very big chunk I couldn't recover from it, sadly. And then you are totally lost, and that's what I usually do. But sure, feel free to reach out and ask me what to do. But you have to take into account that this whole DJ endeavor, how strange it might sound to some of you, for me is a hobby. It's a hobby. Grew totally out of hand. I never expected it to blow up like it did. And that means that if I take on stuff, it must be fun for me to do, and it must serve a purpose. And if it's just a huge project that involves a lot of coding, no matter if I'm fully paid for that, it's just not fun, so I will not do it. But I'm always open for suggestions, and I'm always open to discuss possibilities. So ask me what you want, and if you can be detailed. Oh, maybe I remember, you are that guy. Yes, I remember. If I'm correct, Rocky 3000, then you are the guy with the request app for DJs. And most likely you want to, because I am not stupid, most likely you want to incorporate that directly into DJ software. That's not a project I would take on. First of all, it's not fun. Second of all, I am not into that line of business. So that would be not something that I would take on, sorry. Daruk is my friend. So the only way I can transfer cues, etc. on beatport tracks is to upgrade to a creative professional plan. I know the answer already. I just believe it when you say it. No, because it depends on what you're saying, Darukus. If you want to transfer cues, loops and other stuff that you had set, cues and loops that you are set on beatport streaming tracks to audio file tracks, or the other way around, then all you need is the Rekordbox collection tool. That can do that already, and of course I will help you with that. And that is regardless of the plan, but I think that indeed in order to use beatport streaming, beat source streaming, you need to have a creative license in order to unlock it. But the Rekordbox collection tool can get the cues and loops between various formats, and that will work fine. So yes, that's regardless of what kind of subscription you have. But keep in mind, if you want to do that, then the beatport streaming track must be 100% identical to the audio file you got. And very often there is a small difference between that, and then RCT will refuse to move the cues and loops simply because they will shift too much. But if those two are exactly identical, and there are tutorials in my YouTube channel about how to do that, then it will work just fine, and you can move cues and loops from beatport streaming tracks to audio file tracks and the other way around. Rocky 2000, yeah, that was indeed the request guy. It's fun to me, but thanks for your honesty. Always, Rocky. I'm Dutch, so I don't sugarcoat, and I just call a thing, and that's how it is. And yes, I can understand if things are fun, but I'm sure there are others that can help you with your particular questions there. Like I said, those kind of things, the kind of things I can imagine you would like, will be very hard. And the reason for that is that there is no DJ software that is updating its database real time, which means if the DJ software is open, then you cannot access the database. And then you cannot add new tracks, and then you cannot add playlists. So no matter what you would like to do, you cannot do that real time, and I can imagine that is exactly what you wanted it to be. So stay on your HTML web interface, and I think that will be fine. And that's, again, honest advice and the best advice I can give you. My friends, that also means that I am at the end of the topics that I wanted to discuss. So if you got a question that you want to discuss, then I'm happy for that to talk about it. By the way, I went to see Tron Ares last week. I can recommend it because it's visually stunning. I can recommend it because Jared Leto didn't disappoint this time. But I cannot recommend it for the storyline. The storyline sucks. The soundtrack is great. It's by 9 Inch Nails. It's a very pulsating, exciting soundtrack. I saw it in IMAX 3D. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So yes, that is also very good to see. But don't see it for the story. And it's not a Tron movie, but it's a visually stunning, spectacular thing. Other thing that I saw was the last episode of Peacemaker. Now, don't get me wrong, I love everything James Gunn is doing, from Creature Commandos to Superman to Peacemaker. But this last episode was kind of disappointing because maybe he spoiled us so much with content that I really like that this couldn't live up to my expectations, which is totally on me, of course. It still was a great episode, but not the thing that you hoped it would be. But hey, that is what I saw. Then Junior Alta, Mixmaster G, you are a natural-born psychologist who helps DJs and other music lovers release their stress. You are welcome, Junior Alta, and thank you for your kind words. By the way, I am not a psychologist, but usually my girlfriends are psychologists. I don't know what it is, but usually they somehow are related to that education. My friends, I hope to see you all next week. Like I said, Native Instruments, Traktor already whispered on their forum that they are going to release something the 21st, which is next week. And quite possibly that will be something that we are going to discuss right here. I'm not sure if I can make my usual 7 p.m. slot because Tuesday is the setup day for the Amsterdam Dance Event. Now, Amsterdam Dance Event is usually pretty easy to set up because it's just a table. I put my stuff on it and that's it. It's much easier than the NAMM, for instance. But maybe I run into somebody who needs something, so I don't know how that's going to work out. For now, thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you like what I'm doing, give the video the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe and all that other good stuff. But most importantly, tell your DJ friends about the availability of this information online each Tuesday, totally for free. There is no monetization on, so I really need your help to spread the word if it comes to that. I'll be back next week, and otherwise within 2 weeks. Thank you for watching. Mixmaster G signing off.